Genesis on down, he's going to tell you that he stole a seed. Because God had to come back and create another seed called Seth. That was the seed of God. They restarted this thing over again. Because what the devil did was, he stole the seed that God had intended in the garden. A pure seed. Messed it up. Because he had no seed, y'all. And the only way the enemy now can get a seed is when we give it to him. And guess what? He's not looking for a seed from the world. Because he get nothing from that, what people don't understand. He's looking for the seed that has been anointed by God. Because he's drawn to the anointing. He's not drawn to the world. See, people keep thinking he's in the club. No, he's not. He's in the church. Paul said, what in 2 Thessalonians? The end won't come to first to fall away, and the man of sin shall be revealed where? In the place he ought not to be. In the house of God, the temple of God. Showing himself off at God. Why? He showed up in the church. And it's happening. Y'all better pay attention to that spirit. It's talking about a spirit. It's a spirit. Because I'm telling you all, the closer you get to God, the closer the enemy is going to walk with you. He's going to be there. What did he do with Jesus? Took him out, started showing him stuff. Walking with him. You see what I'm saying? Because purpose. Purpose. He's drawn to the anointing. He's drawn to that. And the biggest fight you'll ever have when you get anointed by God, it's a warfare. You see what I'm saying? Because now you're dealing with making sure that you're not listening to the wrong spirit. That religious spirit. That spirit that will take you off course. It'll sound right because it'll give you word. And see, that's the problem with people. If you don't study the certain stuff approved, you can go to hell with the Bible. Because a lot of people doing it. They teaching the Bible, but they're not teaching you to a point where you really get saved or truly get delivered. They teach you to a point where you remain in weakness and in captivity. You see what I'm saying? See, one thing I heard a quote this week, and it says that you can free a bird from his cage, and he's still not free. But if you uncage his mind and teach him the unlimited distance he can travel on his wing, you set him on his way. Who do you think made that quote? I heard it from God. Didn't read it nowhere in the book. It just came to me. Because see, the thing that God began to show me is this. We've been caged up for so long that when we get free, we still don't know how to walk in freedom. We're still trapped in the cages of our mind through religious order that people put us in. And things they had us doing that wasn't God, that didn't allow us to be the person that God called us to be. That we can be free to operate in the function and the gifts that God gave us. Somebody always had control of it. Always had you do what they want you to do, when they want you to do, how they want you to do. What is the Spirit saying? See, the thing over there, we got to get to a place to not be afraid to do what the Spirit is saying. Don't be afraid when the Spirit said do it. Yes, it sounds strange. It seems out of place. It seems inappropriate. Why? Because the way we've been trained and governed. So now when God said, we'll be, I don't know if I should say that. I don't know if I should say that. Well, and we get that. Well, I'm sorry, y'all may not be that way. It's just me had those struggles sometimes. That's me sometimes in a place. And I would say, well, God, I know what I said to say. Because, I try to walk in protocol. You know how you get around people, you have to go through protocol. I've been taught what they call it, pulpit etiquettes. And that's why I don't do rituals anymore. That's why when you see me I don't get up doing all those things. I just get up and go with the flow, whatever God say. Because the thing over there is, if we don't learn to become obedient to the Spirit of God, what happens to us in the end when the Spirit of Satan gets stronger in the land and become more influential, which he's doing religiously? Because a lot of people walking in religion, they walking in God, I'm telling you. They think they're walking in God, but they're not walking in God. They're walking in religious order. And the only way that you know you're walking in God, when the Spirit of God begins to deal with you and minister to you and give you revelation, knowledge, and understanding from His Word that only He can do, that nobody else can do it. See, a lot of people, everybody can quote scriptures, but who can get into the substance of the Word and bring out the depthness of what God is really saying, the hidden nuggets? The Holy Ghost can. And when you trust Him, He'll lead and guide you. Now, Bible says into how much truth? Exactly. Because there's a lot of truth that ain't being said that people never heard, didn't even know existed. And it's because, it's like an old mother told me years ago. She said, son, get out of the shallow water and launch out into the deep. She said, you can't learn to swim in shallow water. You ever try to swim in the shallow water? It's hard. It is. Ain't no challenge in it. Because you get in trouble, you just stand up. But when you get in the deep water, you got to do something. You gonna have a dog paddle stroke, kick, wobble, do something, or you going straight to the bottom. You see what I'm saying? And that's what she told me spiritually. Because so many people, they are in shallow water trying to get depthness in God, and it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. The more you press God, the more you ask questions and pray. Because God said, if any man lacking wisdom, ask who? No, you ask your next door neighbor.
Ask God.
Now, y'all know the preacher got all the answers. No, he said, ask of him. You see what I'm saying? So what you have to start doing, going to God and say, okay, Lord, what are you trying to get me to see in this? What's the lesson? Every time God gives us something, it's something we need to be learning. Okay, Lord, what are you saying to me personally? So I can't look at you all. Even when I stand up here, it's not even about what he's saying to you. What is he saying to me? It's got to be about what are you trying to tell me? What place, when God gave me this, I'm trying to figure out, okay, where are you trying to get me to go? What is it? What is everything you're trying to get me to see in this? Because every time God gives you something, it's something that we need to learn from it. It's something we need to take from it. You know, where is he taking us? You know, we're living in the last days. People say that all the time. And everybody's saying that. But what is the preparation? What are we supposed to be doing in the last days? Just going to church? Singing in the choir? Listening to the preacher preach? What is our mission? What is our purpose? If God calls us to be salt, what are we supposed to be doing as salt? Seasoning. What's the nature of salt? You know what I'm saying? He said, you're the salt of the earth. And salt is dominant. It will take over everything. You don't care what you put salt on, it'll dominate it. Put it on something. You put it on iron and leave it there, what happens to eat it up? It'll deteriorate it. You know, no salt in there. Because it would completely deteriorate it. You see what I'm saying? So if we're the salt of the earth, and think about it now, that means that we're a dominant source. That wherever God placed us, we have the ability to draw out, to change the taste and the flavor of. You see what I'm saying? To cure. You see what I'm saying? We have that ability. So everywhere we go, then if somebody's in sin or in trouble, then the spirit in us ought to be what? Drawn out of them, the infirmities or whatever it is, whether it be physical or spiritual, it ought to draw the infirmities out. If we saw it. If they're already together here, then they're what? We ought to be able to preserve what's already there. What God's already done. We ought to be able to preserve them. That's also preservative. You see what I'm saying? He said, you're the salt of the earth. Now, he said, but if you lose your ability to be salt, you ain't go for nothing but be what? Trodden under the foot of man. If we stop being salt, if we stop having taste and flavor, and we stop being dominant, then he said, we ain't good for nothing. But what's our role in this time that we live in, the last days, we keep saying? What's our role? Who are we going to listen to? Are we going to listen to man or are we going to listen to God? Are we going to listen to the Spirit of God and do what he said do, or are we going to wait for some man to tell us, well, you know, baby, I think what you need to be doing. No, what you need to be doing is what God telling you to do. What did God tell you to do? God tell you to do it, you need to do it. You know what I'm saying? Not wait for somebody to pat you on the back, come to you and say, okay, look, this is the vision God gave me for you. Well, God sent the prophet there, he sent the prophet there. He sent the prophet there. He told the prophet what to do and what to say. He told the prophet what not to do. Then when he started listening to man, he got himself killed. And then, you know what else happened? That, you know what else was so magnificent in that thing that people don't, that y'all might have saw, might not have saw? Not only did he die, but he caused the destruction of Bethel. Because the king didn't change. Right. You see what I'm saying? And God had to destroy it. Because when the prophet spoke, now get this now. When he spoke, it was effective. He made believers out of them. But when he died, he erased everything he had spoken. Killed it, changed it. Now, the prophecy came to pass. Do you read on? The prophecy came to pass. Joshua, whoever the king that he said was going to be born, was born. At the age of 8, he took over the kingdom. And then guess what he did? Went and rent the altar, dug their bones up, burned them, everything. Everything the prophet said happened, just like he said it. But he caused the destruction of all those people's lives in the city because he disobeyed God. See, you can be right when God gives you something, but if you don't remain in the fullness of what God tells you, see, it's not just your destruction, but it becomes the destruction of everybody God sent you to. Because you stop them from believing. They look at you like, you know what I'm saying? The only way the prophecy work, become effective for everybody else, is when you hold true to what God tells you to do. But if you don't hold true to what God tells you to do, then guess what? You cause the destruction on everybody else that you were speaking to. So look, it ain't just your life. It ain't just my life. You see what I'm saying? My life, I had to give an account of everybody that listened to me. If I say something, y'all listen, guess what I got to do? I got to give an account. Because if I do something that's detrimental, guess what's going to happen? I got to pay a price. And the sad thing about it, sometimes it don't seem fair with God. Because just like I said, to kill this man because this man lied to him, I didn't think it was fair. I didn't think it was fair, but God said, hey, I ain't never told no man to tell him nothing. Okay. So it was fair. It just wasn't fair in my eyes because I felt like, well, God, you should have killed the liar. No. I ain't never sent nobody to tell him nothing. And that's the thing you got to realize. How do God deal with you? Don't let somebody else come and change how God deal with you. When God deal with you a certain way in a certain place and tell you a certain thing, don't let somebody change you from that. Don't let somebody come and convince you that, well, you know, no, see, you shouldn't be doing that. See, I done had that happen in my life, and I done went through the destruction. I done seen the detriment that it causes. And, you know, I've seen it in my family and on myself because of my disobedience to God and what he told me to do, and because I went another route, because I was respecting people, because I had a certain respect to do what man said, because I was trained that way. And when man said it, I hey, you know, that is a man of God, or that is a woman of God, so, you know, and now I went with it. But that ain't what God told me. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What is God telling you? That's what's going to become the important lesson. What is God telling you? Is he speaking to you? Now, if God's not speaking to you, then you need to listen to somebody. If God's not speaking to you, then you need to say, okay, then somebody can tell you. But if God is speaking to you, and he's giving you direction, he's giving you purpose, and he's telling you exactly what he wants you to say and do, don't let somebody turn you from that. Because he knows what he needs of you. And you don't have to be anybody else. You don't have to act like anybody, sound like anybody, or do it the way nobody else does it. Do it the way God gives it to you. I've been down that road too, emulating people. I emulated my pastor. I respected him, and I tried to be just like him. So the way he did, I did it. Because the response he got, I wanted that response, so I did the same thing. But guess what happened? God had to get me about that. And what he called me to be, do what he tell me to do, and it's going to be effective. If I do what this man is doing, that's what God called him to do. That ain't what he called me to do. And then I could have worked. See, this is the thing that drove me out. The reason why I did not want to leave the system, but the system wouldn't allow me to work in it. They wouldn't accept who I was and what I was. It was always a fight. It was always, you know, a conflict. And that's what pushed me out because of that. Not that I wanted to go, because I felt like, okay, Lord, I can help. I can be a difference. I can make a change. But they didn't want me to, because I didn't say what they were saying. And because I was saying what God was telling me to say, it was rejected, and they wanted me to say what they wanted me to say, when they wanted me to say it, and how long they wanted me to say it. And it caused a problem. I went through that a long time, too many years. Probably 15 years of my life I spent wrestling with people over what I'm supposed to be doing and saying. 15 years of my life, struggling. Didn't have to be struggling. In a hole, didn't have to be in a hole. You know why I'm struggling in a hole? Disobeying God. Disobeying God. My life made miserable. Going through all kinds of trouble. Children going through all kinds of things because of me. My disobedience. Could have been so easy. You know what I'm saying? So, what's the moral of the story? I said a lot. Stop reading over words. Stop reading over words. Take the time to figure out why he mentioned that word. What's the significance of it? You know, why did he say that? You know, don't just read a word and go on. Because people get up preaching stuff and they don't have a clue why that word is there. They just preach. People got built up on their church and you know God ain't in there. That's not a place that God visits. they saw it, and the Bible, it sounded good, and they put it up there, Bethel. We not like that. Got a ring to it. And they go with it.
Got a ring to it.
Yeah. Okay. And don't know why. Yeah. Don't know why God had that word there, why he mentioned it. And then look at what happened to it. It's not even a place God visited anymore. Right. It's been destroyed. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you got to know. Every time you sit back in front of somebody or listen to somebody, research behind them. If I tell you something and you don't study it, you don't know it. You can recite it, but let somebody ask you a question about it. Oh, well, you need to study to show yourself approved unto God. So you can rightly divide the word of truth. That nobody can fool you or deceive you, because I'm telling y'all, in the hour that we're living in, a lot of people finna be deceived. A lot of folk. Like that Jeroboam deceived 10 tribes of people by telling them, these gods that I built, these are the gods that delivered you out of Egypt. And they were foolish enough to believe him, and they got led astray, and they found themselves in that God was angry with them, all because they listened to a man. They had an agenda. His agenda was he didn't want to lose his position, so he came up with something to keep them so he don't lose his position. So he was all by himself. In the position that God gave him, that he messed up, because he went astray. And he led all those people astray with him. So I keep telling y'all, you better follow God. I don't care who the man is. I don't care how anointed you think he is, or how much word you think he knows, or how good it sounds. You better follow God. If you don't follow God, you get lost. And they always intentional. You know, and they always playing. Nobody playing or intending to mislead in the Bible. Guess what happened? Sometimes you listen to the wrong voice. Just like the prophet did. Sometimes you get caught up with the wrong stuff. Sometimes you lose sight of where you're supposed to be and supposed to be doing. But if everybody's following God and that happens, what can happen? You can help that person. Mm-hmm. But if you follow that person and not God, then what? You go straight with them. Or you end up mad or angry or disappointed or frustrated, or you got to go through all this long process, drawn out situation of what, I know that I should have listened to that devil. And you know how many people are messed up? Think about this. And I know I got to leave y'all alone. Do you know how many people's lives are miserable? All because they trusted a man, and the man didn't turn out to be what they thought he was. Mm-hmm. And you know how foot back that set you? Now see, what people don't understand how detrimental that is to you if you get set back, because now you gonna close down and shut down. So if God do send somebody, you ain't gonna hear it. Mm-hmm. Look at Israel. All them years that they got misled, when Jesus came, they didn't want to hear what he had to say. Ah, here we go. They wouldn't receive him. Why? Because they had gotten tricked so many times and misled so many times that when the true prophet came, they wouldn't even receive him. They crucified him. Didn't believe him. Say, ain't no way. Who you saying you are? You ain't no son of God. They wouldn't take it. So don't y'all know the devil still playing that trick? That he's still hurting people and disappointing people and letting them down and tricking them, all because they got caught up in a man and not God. And then when the man didn't turn out to be what they thought, they got set back. And they found themselves, when they should have been 10 miles ahead, they ended up 50 miles back. It take a long time to catch back up to where you should have been. You know what I'm saying? All because you let somebody knock you off the path that God set you on. So that's why I keep telling y'all, what did I say? Don't follow me. Follow God. And we'll walk together. And that way, if anybody go wrong, guess what? Somebody will be there to help somebody. So your eyes won't be on a man, but it'll be on God. Your ears will be in tune to what the Spirit is saying and not the sound of the voice of a man. Because if you get in tune to what the Spirit is saying and not caught up in the man's voice, then you can hear God. Because God used people, but you just can't get caught up in them. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Because just because God used people, don't necessarily mean they're walking with him. Because he used the old prophet. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Just because God used man don't mean he walking with God. Pay attention, you all. I'm telling y'all. In the time that we living in, pay attention. That if it's God, it's going to line up with God. And you're going to know it. If it's not God, watch it long enough. You'll see.
Amen.
Yes, you'll be like, oh, mm-hmm. But if you don't pay attention to God and his word, then you'll miss him every time. Anybody? Anything before we close? Any questions? Any more comments? Anybody got anything or saw something I didn't see?
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he take the place of somebody that was doing the same thing he got in there and did? Jeroboam?
Jeroboam, yeah, his father.
So he already kind of knew when he went in there or had experienced it. He just fell right on into that same cycle.
Because his father was king and his father had this great burden on people. And I think when Jeroboam came in, he didn't seek the counsel of the older people. He sought counsel of people his own age.
Okay.
And they told him, man, if I were you, shoot, I'd be harder than your daddy was. And so he did. He became more harder than his father was. So yeah, he replaced his father. Okay. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Where did you see? How did you know that the old prophet was from Samaria?
If you read on in the next chapter, when the prophecy came true, and they dug the bones up and they was gonna burn them at the altar, and then what's his name?
Josiah.
Josiah told them, asked who was he, and they told him who he was. He was the prophet that prophesied that, and he told them don't touch his bones, nor the prophet from Samaria. Because remember, the old man wanted to be buried right beside him.
Right.
Right.
A lot of stuff that I told y'all, a lot of details. You just gotta get the nuggets out. See, if you just read through and you don't look at all the little nuggets, you'd be surprised what you miss inside of stuff when you don't study. That people just say this. You know what happens? Because people get accustomed to quoting the same scriptures over and over and over again, and they preach sermons. There's a lot of hidden stuff people never know about in the Bible. Because it takes a lot of time to study. I mean, you can just read something, but when you want to study, it takes a lot of time. You got to cross-reference, you got to look words up, see what it means, what's the origin of it. You know, like I said, I mean, you got to, man, to learn all this stuff, you got to put some time in. Because it ain't going to just happen, I'm telling you. Because it's too much. I mean, and then think about this. Do you know how much is left out on this stuff that I don't even know? Because there were literally thousands of people that had to operate the system. Thousands. Because you think about it, they had to dig holes and post silver sockets in those holes to hold those curtains up. Silver. Every time they took this thing up, it had to be dug up. They had to remelt the silver to pour back in the hole again. And you think about, then, you know, you think about these altars, all this stuff was overlaid with gold. Everything inside the tabernacle was overlaid with gold. Everything outside the tabernacle was overlaid with brass. So they had to heat this brass up hot enough to liquefy it, to pour it over this surface to make this stuff. And when they made the candlesticks and this stuff, it had to be hammered out. They had to personally get this thing and beat it in the pattern that God told them to. That took time. They do that craftsmanship out of pure gold. They hammer this thing out the way God wanted it. But everything had to be done just like God said it. And then certain people couldn't touch certain things. They were literally, I'm telling you, there were thousands. See the book of Exodus, I think it starts around the 24th chapter of the book of Exodus when they're dealing with the tabernacle and the priesthood and all that. You go in there and study it sometime, look at all that went on. It's a lot of stuff that went on that we don't even have. We don't hear about, we don't know about, no existence, or why it came about. Or even like I told y'all about with people pouring oil on people to this day. If you go back in the Old Testament in that Exodus 28th chapter, you'll find that it was not just olive oil. It were 5 ingredients that they mixed together. They blended these ingredients together, and that's what they used to anoint the priest. And then they had another oil that they had to mix a separate oil that they had to anoint the vessels and furniture with. There were 2 different type of oils that they used, but each one of them had different blends of stuff that God told them to put in it. One was for the priests and the Levites, and one was for the furniture in the tabernacle. They couldn't put it on a human body. They could only put it on the tabernacle. So it was 2. So now people just pour oil and they start praying. But the oil was symbolic of the Holy Ghost. That's all it was. It's symbolism of the Holy Ghost. So if you have the Holy Ghost, then you have your oil already. You've been anointed by God already. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, like I said, when you get into this and start looking and researching and studying, you'll find that there's a lot of stuff that we've been trained and taught to do that God is no longer doing. He's moved away from it. Because now with the new covenant, God lives inside of us, and all this physical labor stuff that they were doing, that now the Holy Ghost want to do it through us. He's going to do the work, not us. So all the stuff they did physically, we ain't supposed to be doing physically. The Spirit now supposed to be in operation, and guess what? Whatever God wants us to do, that's what the Spirit supposed to be doing in us. That's it. Whatever God anoints you to do, the Spirit does it. We're just puppets, is all we are. That's all we are. And to walk in that order, like I told y'all, the hardest thing that I found out for people to do is this right here. Because most of everybody you meet, they try to live for God and they struggling. You ask them. You know they sang that song, I can't hardly get along. Because they ain't supposed to be struggling. Because see, I'm not supposed to be living for God. I'm supposed to what? Die. And let God live for me. Once we learn that and we surrender everything to Him and allow Him to do the work, because He's going to do the work. I don't have to strive to do nothing. I don't have to struggle to do nothing. I don't have to go through all these changes to do. All I got to do is surrender. It's a faith walk. At the point of belief, God does it. It's only as long as you don't believe. That's how long it takes for God to do something. The point that you take, however long it takes you to believe God, that's how long it takes Him to do it. At the point you can believe God, guess what? It's done. So if nothing else, I'll leave y'all alone. And I turn to him, Brother John, to the next thing. And I guess, next Sunday be Minister Philly, the Sunday after that be Minister Allen again. Yeah, they don't have no objection. So it'll be Minister Philly and then